Good evening. I am Nisha Charles.
And I am Leslie Joseph.
And we are your presenters for today. Thank you for joining us for SAT TV News. Among the major developments, young people are being advised to stay away from drugs and alcohol.
St. Lucia's opposition leader calls for resignation of House Speaker.
Rebels take control of North Syria Air Base.
And in sports, Dubla Football Club secures victory in their opening encounter of the Dominican Football Association Premier Division second round competition.
Details of these and other stories after the break. Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. Obesity is becoming a growing problem around the world, not to mention in Dominica. More and more young children are not getting the recommended serving of fruits and vegetables that they need on a daily basis. The Kiwanis Club of Dominica is taking it upon themselves to do their part in combating childhood obesity in Dominica. This is why they are hosting a fruit day at the Shining Stars Preschool on Friday, January 11th, 2013.
We're focusing heavily on childhood obesity, and our focus on childhood obesity allows us to go into different schools, and we really try to educate parents and children about eating healthy, and teaching them the right foods that they should eat, the right fruits to help them to be healthier. And what we see more in our society is we have children who are very overweight. They start walking, they get tired very fast. They have high blood pressure, they have diabetes at very young ages. And this year we really want to focus on ensuring parents teach their children about this so that we can minimize these problems.
The Ministry of Health is partnering with the Kiwanis Club to ensure that the message is brought across to parents to eat more healthily and that this is good for the proper development of the children's brains. Ms. Marnis Tate is a nutritionist and she is advocating healthier eating habits.
We had a survey, well, not really with young children, but among the 15 and up, and we realized that, they are not having the recommended number of servings of fruits and vegetables in a day. Now, if the adults are not having, we can well, imagine that the young children are also not having the recommended servings, which is about 2 to 3 servings of fruits and vegetables for a day. So it is of concern to us that our young children are generally not having enough of fruits and vegetables. And this makes a very important component of their diet because the fruits and vegetables are so high in vitamins, they are high in other minerals, and so we want to ensure that the children receive those nutrients.
An intern with the Ministry of Health, Ms. Miguel Corbett, will be speaking with the children about the importance of fruits in their diets, even those that are imported. She will also do an activity with the students on coloring the different fruits and ensuring they are done with the correct colors. The principal of the Shining Stars Preschool was delighted to have this activity come to the school.
We have a few children who have been coming here with obesity. Actually, we have a child who has diabetes in the school. So we want to encourage the parents to give her less sugar and more fruits.
And in more news, Isaiah Thomas Secondary School and Penville Primary School have been awarded the 2012-2013 Hands Across the Sea Literacy Awards for Dominica. The principals, teachers and children at the schools have freely embraced Hands Across the Seas class program, which has donated 3,600 books to Isaiah Thomas Secondary and 1,000 books to Penville Primary over the past 3 years. The 2012-2013 Hands Literacy Award comes with US $1,000 in new books. Mr. Jerome Badwell, principal of Isaiah Thomas Secondary School, said, "Reading and writing are so important to a child's future that this is why they have joined with Hands Across the Sea to give their students access to top quality books and literacy resources."
I must say I'm happy, I'm elated that we received such recognition. This is testament of the hard work that we've been doing over the years, seeking to improve literacy at the school. It's unfortunate though that so many of our young people come from the primary education, not attaining the level of the ability to read at their grade level. And so we are challenged to a certain degree in that we have to get them up to a certain level so that they can cope with the program that is prepared here for them.
Mr. Badwell explained that the school board met with Hands Across the Sea years ago and have been working with them ever since.
And we were able to partner with them, to be able to refurbish our libraries, to set up literacy centers, and they committed to assisting us as a school. And so the Linskys, who are actually the ones responsible for the organization here, they have committed to providing us with the literacy material that we require for our programs. And so we ourselves have done quite a bit in getting programs on stream and getting the young people themselves to read a little more.
Head girl of ITSS, Ms. Daislyn Vidal, commended all for their support and contribution in making ITSS Literacy Center one of the best on the island.
On behalf of the student body of the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School, I would like to thank the Hands Across the Sea organization for their most wonderful donation to our school. I must say that we are very grateful and we are taking full advantage of the books here. Has many of my favorites, such as Twilight, Nancy Drew, many books which I love reading. So once again, we'd like to thank this prestigious organization, and may God bless you. Thank you.
The US-based charity also worked hand in hand with Uella Joseph, the principal of Penville Primary School, to revive the school's library. Also in 2012-2013 school year, Northeast Comprehensive was a recipient of a shared grant from Hands Across the Sea, the Beverly Foundation, and the U.S. Embassy in Barbados. The grant allowed Northeast Comprehensive to receive over 400 brand new books for the school library.
And in more news, former member of the WCK band, Nigel John Baptist, better known as Nai, says his decision to resign from the band he was a part of for 13 years on September the 16th, 2012, was one he needed to take in an effort to focus on his solo career. With this extra time, he plans to focus solely on his immediate goal, which is composing his debut solo album. However, he stated that the decision to resign was in no way to undermine the band, and the WCK music will continue to grow as they had a good legacy set even before his involvement. At a press conference held on Friday, January 11th, for the release of his new song, Heat, Mr. John Baptist indicated currently he is a solo artist under the Fire Nation Entertainment label.
I know that my individuals are saying that I have tried going solo and was unsuccessful in the past. Why this time would be any different for me? That's the question that I asked. Back then, I was willing to do the work, but my knowledge at the time of the industry was limited. I have now done my homework and tapped into expertise to help me. They have studied the ins and outs of the industry. With the experience and knowledge gained over the years, the establishment, networking, strong fan base, I have full confidence that my management team and I have the real power and competence to execute our plans, because failure is definitely not in our vocabulary.
With that, he stated he has increased his ways of communicating and has established social accounts on Twitter and Facebook, while he is in the process of creating a website, all in the effort of keeping in constant contact with his fans. He says that his fans should be aware that this time he is ready more than ever before, and having a solid foundation will allow him to be more confident and is eager to enhance and promote Dominica's music. Mr. John Baptist pointed out that for 2013, his management team and himself have a number of plans in place that will take the musical industry to the next level. Some of the plans thus far are year-round releases, high-energy performances, videos, and collaborations with local and international artists, just to name a few.
I would like to thank the WCK band for recognizing my talent and granting me the opportunity to perform on the international stage. My heart goes out to all the diehard WCK fans who felt or who still feel disappointed with my decision. Let me reassure you that I am willing to work with the WCK band and other interested individuals on a contractual basis. I promise to continue to remain professional and produce the great music that you, Dominica, love me for. Once again, I would like to thank all my fans for supporting they have given me over the years. I urge you to continue to support me and our music, WCK, Dominica's music.
One of the representatives of the Fire Nation management team, Mr. Hanif Gregoire, says the management team will take much of the workload away from the artist so he can focus on his musical talent and creation process. He said too often in Dominica, musicians have fallen victim to the disease in the form of bad management, but this will not be so with Mr. John-Baptiste. With the advances of modern technology, every artist should use this as an advantage.
We, the Fire Nation management team, will not hesitate to take advantage of this opportunity as we seek to take our artists straight to the top. We may be young and lack the experience and financial backing. Notwithstanding, we possess the hunger, the passion, and the vision which serve as some of the key attributes to produce a successful organization. We are determined to make a difference.
Events Director of the Dominica Festivals Committee, Mrs. Natalie Clark-Mead, revealed Mr. John-Baptiste is one of Dominica's talents she has been watching very closely and advised him to stick to the vision he has for himself. She advised him that he should not sign any contract before his management team has vetted out and his entertainment lawyer has approved it, so he does not sell his soul. Mrs. Mead also advised the solo artist that he must use all means necessary so he generates all revenues he can for the work he puts out.
As we saw from Rihanna, she had to come back and make noise because somebody dropped the ball and millions of dollars were going in a different direction that she didn't know about. Okay? So the element of trust, and I'll say it again, the element of trust in the management team for Nai, he has to trust you explicitly. Because if he has to look back to see that the 10 million that came in, you taking one on the side, you have a major problem. So trusting the element is very, very important. The network that you create out there. If you say that you are going to go to Martinique or Guadeloupe and you're going to play at a product, an event product, and you say it's 9 a.m. you're supposed to be on the stage and the sound check is 10, arrive at the sound check at 10. Be there.
Lead singer of the Triple K Global Band, Mr. Wayne Benji Benjamin, pointed out that although they had their differences, Nai has always been like a brother to him, and he supported this move for him to go solo.
I said, bro, go ahead, chase after your dream, because I know deep down inside that is what your father wanted for you, for sure. I will let any posse and your mother, I stand up there for them, for sure. You know, so bro, all the best in your endeavors, Fire Nation, respect.
Ambassador to the OECS and CARICOM Commissioner to the OECS, His Excellency Felix Gregoire, advised Nai that he should follow a path of unity as there is too much competition and fighting against each other in the music industry here.
We have to move our country forward in whatever sector, whatever industry. We have to work together. We cannot be fighting all the time. So let us support Nai on that journey, and all of us will benefit. When one person makes it, you tell yourself, I will make it as well. And the young people must see that as the motivation, that when somebody makes it, that they can also make it whatever endeavor in life.
Take a listen to Nai's new song entitled Heat.
Everybody
more news, young people are being advised to stay away from drugs and alcohol. This is the advice of Mrs. Krenfield James Turney, Drug Abuse Prevention Officer for the South and Roseau Valley. Mrs. Turney says that this advice could not come at a more opportune time, as the month of January is being observed as Drug Awareness Month under the theme My Community, My Choice, No Drugs. In light of this, they had a drug information table on the ground floor of the ministry building where all persons can come to get information to educate themselves on drugs.
We are doing this because sometimes when students have the projects to do, that is like a rush at our office when they come to gather the information. So to eliminate or to avoid that, we are having the information all through this week available so that they can come and collect the information.
She said that it is important that they visit the schools where they relay the information to the students, which they then pass on to their parents when they go back to their homes. Mrs. Turney highlighted that based on surveys they have conducted with the secondary schools and the state college, what they have learned is that alcohol is the most abused drug among secondary school students.
One, it is readily available, it is easily accessible, and in any village that you go now, you will find a bar open. In most houses, you will find at least wine, beer, or even they had liquors. So it is readily available, it is easily accessible, and it is some of them are also cheap. So then that's the reason why we find most of the young persons are using the drugs or abusing it.
She added, because it is also culturally accepted in our island, as from January to December we are engaged in parties and other fetes.
I usually say that from a child is conceived, because you'll find a young man, his girlfriend or his wife gets pregnant, and he has a good time. He takes a drink on that. When she's ready to deliver, and when she makes the baby, he say, oh, it's a boy, it's a girl. He takes another drink. Then he goes on when the child is for christening, he drinks again. Then for birthday party, it's a child birthday party, but they have an area for the adults. Then you move on to the confirmation, first communion, birthdays again, funerals, weddings, and just name it. And you have carnival in between, you have Creole festival, you have Independence time, Christmas time, and most persons are drinking. But the most important thing is that you can have a good time without the use of the substances.
She stated that while some people may be of the view that drugs can help them relax their mind, this cannot be said for all, as different people react differently to various drugs. Mrs. Turney said that though they may give all the positive advice they can, at the end of the day it is left up to the people to make the right choices. She said it does not take a rocket scientist to see the negative effect drugs has on our population, as just a simple walk around Roseau and the evidence is right in our faces.
We are integrating life skills with drug education sessions. When I talk about the life skills session, talk about self-esteem, how you can develop your self-esteem, how you can say no to drug or refusal skills, because as young people, persons will come at you or influence you to take the different type of drug. But if you are armed with the different skills, or you can say how you can stay away from these substances, you'll be better able to deal with it. Because when we do the give you information about how you can deal with peer pressure, how you can deal with self-esteem, how you can use your value to help you to be a better person, to make the right choice. If you have all that information and you don't put it to use, what good it is to you? So it's a matter of the individual putting that information to use.
The Drug Abuse Prevention Officer says even prescription and over-the-counter drugs can be detrimental to anyone's health if not used properly. With that, she said people have to be very careful and make the right choices and decisions so we do not become victims of drug use. She says parents also have a part to play, as they have to be a good role model to their children as well.
Parents have to be observant, because sometimes you may have a child at your home, an A student, child doing very well, and all of a sudden the child starts withdrawing. Ask yourself the question, and many times parents know what is going on and they are in denial. And if you know you cannot help your child, ask somebody, because there are persons who can assist it. Even you may not have the right resources available within your community, but if you speak to somebody, they can get the information as well. So it is important that parents make the right choice to help their children to become better persons, because if we have a better family, eventually we have better communities. and the better communities, we can have a better Dominica, and it goes on to the region and to the wider world as well.
Other activities that are scheduled by the Drug Prevention Unit are rallies, one in Point Michelle and another in Calibishi, also Salisbury and Lapland, exhibitions, a candlelight vigil, and a market-to-market walkathon. The public support is appreciated for these activities.
A diverse group of management personnel are now better equipped to deliver excellent customer service. A CDCS workshop on customer service ran from Monday the 7th of January to Friday, January 11th, to help Dominican businesses to deliver a greater experience to their customers in these hard economic times. The workshop was coordinated by the CDCS network in Barbados in collaboration with the Aid Bank in Dominica. Special Projects Communications Coordinator at the Aid Bank, Mrs. Josephine Deschausset-Tit, says the Aid Bank is not just interested in giving loans, but providing technical support to those whom they work with.
CDCS comes in. They had approached us sometime last year to ask whether we could recommend persons to pursue a training of trainers workshop, or at least 2 of them in Barbados. One of them was for financial management techniques for small businesses, and the other was customer service delivery for small businesses. So we recommended a couple of persons to attend those trainings in Barbados, and in return they were to come down to Dominica to conduct similar trainings to the business community.
The Aid Bank has been partnering with the Caribbean Development Bank from its inception. They are delighted to have partnered with such a workshop. The course facilitator, Mrs. Avril John Daniel, was praised for her excellent work with the participants on helping them to understand that with so many businesses offering the same product, it is the experience that matters. Mr. Patrickson Victor from Invest Dominica gives his overview of the workshop.
One of the things that remains etched in my mind is the experience economy. And it is significant because our customers, our clients, they can go to any other agency unless we work with a company that has a monopoly on the product or the service. But what we need to remember is that our clients can always find the service or the product from our competitors. But the experience is something that is unique. The experience is something that cannot be found from any other agency or any other firm or any other business place, because the experience is what we as employees translate to the customer.
He says this makes the difference between a returning customer, a complaining customer, or a lost client. He hopes he can implement some of what they learned into their various businesses. Representative from Roots Herbal Remedies, Mr. Reno Deschamps, says he is grateful to have had the opportunity to be part of such a workshop.
Very, very informative, very dynamic, and as one that would consider this is a new experience for me. I receive prerequisites that could be of great assistance to the way I view my clientele, and certain topics I was not aware existed within the realm of a course of this nature. For example, customer recovery, and which is very important, because most times you may enter into a business establishment and you may not get the satisfaction that you were looking for.
Mrs. Gloria Joseph, one of the participants, says the benefits of the workshop truly outweigh the minimum cost. She's hoping for other workshops of this kind.
Training is very costly. Being a trainer myself, I know what I charge for service. So having to pay a minimal $100 was nothing in relation to what we have earned. So we all have benefited in one way or the other. I have been a little close to Mrs. John Daniels. We've done some trainings together, and I know she was a little bit apprehensive at the beginning, but I told her I was there behind her to support as best as I can, and all of us did the same thing. We all gave our support. Your quiet personality would make us think that you were going to lullaby us at some time. At the beginning, we thought maybe that's what we were going to get into. Your slow move, you know, but you were very engaging. There was not one time I felt sleepy. Do you share the same views? I never was tired. There wasn't a moment that I thought, let me take a break after lunch and don't come back. All of us came back except those of us who could not come today for very, very good reasons. We all stayed through and we did not tolerate you. We enjoyed you.
The participants all received certificates for their participation.
And in more news, Free Miss Dominica 2013 Queen contestants officially received sponsorship today, Friday, January 11th, 2013. The young ladies were Miss Melinda Ulysses, Trelsha Brizzy, and Fatima Noel. Miss Dennis Charles, representative of Petro-Carib, spoke on behalf of Miss Melinda Ulysses as her sponsor. Ms. Charles said Petro-Carib is adhering to the Prime Minister's instruction, which is to support Dominica's culture.
To encourage our young leaders whose contribution makes this show possible. In addition to supporting the National Carnival, Petro-Carib makes significant contributions to all village carnivals and village feasts. Our unending support and investments demonstrates our commitment to the socio-economic development of Dominica.
Ms. Diane Etienne, representative of
on behalf of Petro-Carib and DA Vibes,
Ms. Etienne said that her
the official sashing of Miss Ulysses
and promotion of Dominica's unique culture and heritage. Here's what Ms. Ulysses had to say.
She will now be.
I must say that I am very honored and very privileged to be considered for sponsorship from such institutions. When we went to Petro-Carib seeking sponsorship, we got a positive response, and though it was a bit of a walk and a bit of work, we appreciate that they decided to sponsor us after all. And there was no hesitation from DA Vibes. When we entered and they got my bio and they spoke to me, they were just very excited to sponsor me, and I am very happy, very thankful and very grateful for such an opportunity.
Parliamentary Representative for St. Joseph Constituency, Honorable Kelva Daru, spoke on Ms. Kelsha's Brizzy's behalf. He said to have someone representing his community is indeed a plus for St. Joseph. Ms. Brizzy said this is a very special moment for her to have support from her job, community and aid bank.
You all know that recently St. Joseph was labeled as the poorest constituency on the island. So my platform is going to be psychological poverty, uprising from psychological poverty. So that is why I'm really, really thankful I could get these sponsors to support me on my journey on becoming Miss Dominica 2013. That way I will show other Dominican young girls like myself that it doesn't matter if you come from an ordinary background, a poor family, you can go out there and do something and bring something back home to your family to be proud for. So again, thank you for your sponsorship. I appreciate it, and to everyone out there supporting me, thank you. Continue doing so, because on February 8th, I assure you I will not let you down.
Ms. Fatima Noel, sponsored by FastCash, said she is grateful for the opportunity just to be representing her country, and she commends FastCash for sponsoring her.
And if I didn't have to come to DFC for money, I would not, because I am so thankful for the opportunity that they gave me to be a part of the Miss Dominica 2013. I also want to say a very special thank you to FastCash. They have already been supporting me. I have a great team down there, from Miss James to Mr. Samuel to Bian to the secretary to the cashier. They are all on my team, great support. And to the communities that I proudly represent, which I love naming them: Gallion, Soufriere, and Scott said, where I grew up, went to school, Saint-Sauveur, Petit Soufriere, and Good Hope, that's where I was born. And I live in Shufford, and I also lived in Shufford.
In court today, Eric Zay Joseph, who spent 25 years in prison for the murder of farmer Ted Honeychurch, is once again an inmate at the Stock Farm State Prison. He was arrested in early October 2012 for throwing missiles and making threats towards Miss Gloria Prosper at Reach. He appeared before the court on Friday, January 11th, to request self-bail since bail is open to him. But Inspector Claude Weeks said, "We know this man's story, and it appears that when he is out, these things are happening. We have to protect the people and society." Mr. Weeks said Mr. Joseph has been on remand for almost 4 months and would have served his time when the matter is heard on January 25, 2013. He was remanded in custody. Kenny Laura of Glasgow Foncolay appeared before Magistrate Ozzy Lewis on 2 charges. He was charged with threatening his ex-girlfriend Louise Africa by saying, "When I meet you by yourself, I will kill you." He was also charged with beating Miss Africa. The incident took place on January 7th. The facts in the matter are that on Monday, January 7th, Miss Africa was at the Roseau Market when she noticed the defendant passing by. He came up to her and said, "Louise, I want to talk to you." Louise responded, "I do not want to hear what you have to say." He then slapped her on both sides of her face and attempted to take her shoes. She went to the Roseau police station and reported the offense. The police found Mr. Laura and asked him about the incident. He responded, "Is prison she want to see me go, officer? Why are you charging me with threats?" Miss Africa appeared in court and said that Mr. Laura's threats are serious and she is fearful when he's out on the streets. Mr. Laura was bonded to keep the peace between him and Miss Africa in the sum of $1,000 for a year or 4 months in prison. Africa also mentioned that Laura was not paying any child support. If Laura is to pay any child support, it should go through Africa's mother, Joan Joseph. If he wants to see his daughter, he should also contact Joan Joseph and stay away from Miss Africa. Laura is fined $600 to be paid by March the 31st or spend 4 months in prison. And in Morcourt, Eustace Henry, Kenroy Paul, and Wendell Lawrencine were charged with drug trafficking. The drug has been ruled out as being a controlled drug. The incident took place on the 5th of July 2012 in Scott's Head. They all pled not guilty. The matter was adjourned to March the 19th, 2013. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.